Hi guys, it's Finn, Stuff 1908, and I'm here today bringing you a deck profile. I know, right? Been a while, and I'm going to be showing you Virtual Worlds. I built this deck in real life, so I can say it's pretty damn good right now. This I'm recording on the 20th of August, 2021, for reference. But no, this deck is very fun. Would highly recommend playing it. It's not too expensive. Well, this build is quite expensive, I'd say, just because of the hand traps and the the extra deck. But you get the point, right? It's not bad though. I'd recommend giving this deck. It's pretty good fun. Yeah, so let's get straight into the profile. Okay, so here we have the profile, and we start off quick, nice generic hand trap of Ash Blossom. You'll play 3 Ash Blossom. It's just very generic, very simple. It's really good for the being able to stop your opponent when you're going second, or even if you're going first and you have that disruption to play. It's also a good discard cost for your Qinglong or Zanwu, which we'll get into. But yeah, it's a very good card. Would recommend playing it. Next is Cyframe Gamma, of course. You can see there. Cyframe Gamma is also a very strong, powerful card in this deck, especially. It is the psychic. However, that doesn't mean it makes the deck better. In all fairness, it's just a really good card to have in this deck. Would recommend playing it. It's really, like I said, it's another discard fodder if you have it in hand. So yeah, and of course that goes along with Driver, of course, too. So you also want to play the Driver of that because that's how the package works. So next we play 2 Nyan Nyan. Nyan Nyan's really you don't want to play it 3 because it's just too much, but you want to play it 2 because you play 3 Pot Desires. That's kind of how the game works. You want to play multiple copies if you're playing Pot Desires, of course. But Nyan Nyan is pretty good, especially since it's about itself back as a tuner when a level 3 level 3 monster, not just virtual, but level 3 monster is normal special to the field. Just in general, and it just brings itself back from the graveyard as a tuner. It's pretty good. That's pretty much all it does. It has a banishment effect, though, however, which allows you to reshuffle a card back into your deck, I do believe. Virtual card from your banished grave. I forget which one it is. I don't want to check. Inconsistent. But yeah, no, it's a pretty good card. I'd recommend playing it at just 2. 2's fine. Next is Lili. One of my favorite virtual cards is Lili because it is a level 6 and it's a non-tuner. But Lili is like another Foolish Burial for virtual. It's pretty good. It summons itself. Of course, like all of them do, pretty simply. Except Nyan Nyan. Nyan Nyan is the only one that doesn't really summon itself. Except Tao Tao, but we don't play Tao Tao. Nyan Nyan doesn't summon itself, but the rest of them do. Lili summons itself. They all summon themselves, of course, by having a virtual world card on the field. And then you show it in hand. If for example, if you have a virtual spell on the field like Qinglong or something, you target Qinglong. You have to send from the graveyard. You have to send to the graveyard either a monster or a trap. You can't send a spell because you've targeted the spell. That's kind of how virtual worlds work. And then you get the second effect. So on Lili, the second effect, it's extra effect. I should say. I'm going to call it an extra effect. Its extra effect allows you to dump another. You dumps the third type to the graveyard. For example, let's say you've targeted a spell and you dumped a monster. It lets you then dump a trap as its second effect. It's pretty good. It's one of my favourites because it's an extra Foolish Burial, and it's a level 6 non-tuner, which is really good for your synchro plays. Trust me, I say that because it feels like all your level 3s are tuners. It's stupid. But yeah, no, that's pretty good. The best card in the deck now goes to Virtual World Lulu. Lulu is. Trying to get that on the screen. Lulu is, of course, the best card in the deck. It adds a card from deck to hand. So, for example, if you have a Qinglong on field and you activate Lulu, it allows you to, of course, summon itself the normal way, but it also adds the third type for your hand. So, let's say you send, good example, you activate, you target Qinglong, summon it, and send a, a Zanwu or a Chuchi. You send a trap, right? It allows you to then get a monster to your hand, which can then, if it's a virtual, it allows you to get another virtual monster. So then you can use that virtual monster to keep special summoning. It's special. It's really good. It's the best card in the deck, and that's why it's about 10 to 20 quid, depending on who you buy it from and where you live. So yeah, I'd recommend always playing this at free. You want to play all the virtuals at free, except Nyan Nyan, of course, and Tao Tao. But yeah, very good card. Next we have Lao Lao. Lao Lao is really good too. Lao Lao resummons a monster from the graveyard in defense position. They do keep their sorry, it resummons virtual world monsters. Sorry, I should be specific. Yeah, but it resummons virtual world monsters, which is really strong. From graveyard and defense, it's the second best. I'd say it's the second best card. It's not. And to me, I don't like it as much as Lily, because of course Lily is a non-tuner, and just synchros are a bit weird. I'm not the biggest fan of synchros. However, this deck is pretty fun to play. It's quite frankly my best deck right now, so I'm playing with synchros anyway to try and get in the feel of it. But no, just the same thing as the rest, but you have to special summon a monster back. So you target a monster from the field, you dump a trap or whatever, or a spell, and then you resummon a monster from your graveyard. It's pretty good. It's a more of a late stage kind of card you summon, but you always want to play free because you can make into combos, and it's really strong. I'd recommend playing it. So it's pretty good. Next we have is Gigi, Virtual Gigi. Gigi is pretty good. It's just another material. It does the exact same as the rest. It targets a thing on the field, special summons a different card. Targets a thing on the field, forces a different card, and special summons itself. It's pretty good. And then on the end phase, its effect on the end phase allows you to add a virtual monster from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, you get the Lulu back because it's more, you get the monster from your deck to hand. It's pretty good. You get, but yeah, it's just a recursion, of course. Next, we have, of course, the driver, Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is pretty good. Call by the Grave is just, it's a generic. It stops the hand traps. It stops the what does that stop? It stops your opponent from using some graveyard effects. It's just an all-round good card. And that's all we have to talk about Call by the Grave. Except I want it back at 3. Thank you. Next we have Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport, pretty good card. Would recommend playing this. It summons a Lulu or a. Is it summoning Nyan Nyan? Was that a worm? It does. Okay, yeah. It summons a Lulu or a Nyan Nyan from your deck, which is pretty good. I'd recommend. I'd highly recommend playing this card. Yeah, so it's just a free material, so there's no complaint. Next we have Pot of Desires. I'm gonna play 3 of these because you can, and it's draw 2. So yeah, there have been many times where Pot of Desires have saved me, many times. There's been 1 or 2 times, however, where it has completely screwed me over. I have Pot of Desires, said to myself, okay, cool, let's banish all my side cards because I side decked, and I drew 2 Artifact Lancier, and I banished all my Lulus. So yeah, it was pretty miserable. Miserable, that's the one. Next we have this Upstart Goblin. It's just a draw one. It just makes the deck 39 cards, that's what it does. Next we have Virtual World City. I can't pronounce this. Quailloon. I'm saying it's Quailloon or something. Regardless, this is probably one of the better cards in the game, because if you open a monster in this, it means you can start searching monsters easier and start sending monsters to the graveyard easier, because Quailloon just activates a trap or activates a spell from your deck. So basically you activate Quailloon, and then you activate Quailloon, which then places a trap to your field, which then you can target that trap with your monsters in your hand. It's pretty good. I recommend playing this all at 3. It's great. It does have a few other effects real quick. Where it reads, when you place, so let's say you had a virtual spell trap on the field, right? And you activate this a virtual gate card on the field, and you activate this card, and then you place your trap. Let's say you have a Qinglong and a Chi-Chi on field, right? So you have a Qinglong, then you place a Chi-Chi from your deck. You then get the second effect, which reads, all virtual monsters you control gain 200 attack this turn. Not bad. However, it then has a third effect, which was if you have like 3 cards. So let's say you have 2 cards and you place your third card from the deck, third gate. You get to send the top 3 cards from your deck to graveyard, which isn't too bad. It's not great. The fourth effect is good. If you have 3 cards in the field and you Quailloon to a 4th card, you get the effect of you get special 4 virtual monsters with different names from your extra deck. Here's the thing, you're not going to resolve that. It's not going to happen, so I wouldn't recommend worrying about that. Literally, the only effect you're probably ever going to resolve is the 2+ effect, or virtual monsters you control gain 2 attack. But no, it's just great for placing one of your continuous spell traps from your deck onto the field. And it places, it doesn't add or, sets, or no, you just take it and you place it down. It's pretty good. Next we play Imperm. Imperm in this deck is better than Veiler for one reason, and I'll talk about it later. But you want to play Imperm, and it's just a really good hand trap. It's just really good at stopping your opponent on their turn, of course. I have drawn to 2 Imperms, and that's almost been enough to stop them from playing their game. It's pretty good against Tri-Brigade Zoo. I recommend playing it against him. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. Next we have Chuchi. Virtual Chuchi, a very simple card of its main effect, which is its graveyard effect. We're not talking about its on-field effect. All the spam... I completely missed Quinglong. Hang on. We'll go back to Quinglong. Chuchi has an effect that reads, when this card's in the graveyard, you can banish it, target a virtual monster in the field, increase or decrease its level by 3. So, for example, if I had a Lao Lao and a Lao Lao, which is a level 6 tuner, and Lili on the field, which is a non-level 6 tuner, I have no level 12s in my extra deck, so I can't summon anything. However, if I use Chuchi from my graveyard and reduce one of the levels by 3, I can then go into a level 9. It's pretty good. It's pretty good because all Virtual World cards are either level 3 or 6, which goes into level 6 or 9s. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I'd recommend playing it. Its main field effect isn't too bad. It actually is used. It's target one card you're put on the field, shuffle 2 of your banished Virtual World cards from your graveyard into your deck, and then you get to destroy that targeted monster. It's pretty good. Going back to Quinglong now, because I completely missed it. Probably the second best card in this deck is Quinglong, mainly because it adds a Virtual card. Is it card? No, monster, my bad. Adds a Virtual monster from deck to hand when it's in graveyard. So you banish it, add a Virtual monster from deck to hand, but then you have to discard a card. So that's what I was talking about with like the hand traps. If you're opening on turn 1, you can discard them, to not happen to off Quinglong effect if you open them. So yeah, so even on turn 1, hand traps still get a bit of value, which is pretty good. Its main effect is not too flashy. It's mainly just like it's good for stopping Zeus, I guess. You can banish one Virtual World card from the graveyard and target one face-up monster on the field. Negates effect until the end of this turn. That's pretty much it. Even if this card leaves the field. So yeah, it's like let's say you had like two cards in hand. You're facing down the Zeus and just that one card in the field. You use its effect, banish it, and then just try to negate the Zeus. So the Zeus has to reply. The Zeus has to respond there, and yeah. So it's good. Its main effect is its on-field effect isn't too great, but its second effect is pretty good for just extensions and continue and consistency as the word. Okay, next, the final card in the main deck is Zanwu. Zanwu is pretty strong. It's just a resummon from your graveyard, mainly. It just summons back a card from graveyard and discards a card from hand. That's why, like I said, the hand trap fodders, if it's in the hand, discard it. Yeah, so like Zanwu's pretty good. It's just a resummon. It has got a battle phase effect, which has come up in my matches anyway. During the battle phase, if you control another Virtual World Gate card, so like they say, you have Quinglong or Chuchi on the field, you can change its battle position. You target one face of monster on the field, change its battle position, so that's pretty good. And yeah, that's just the main deck cards. Moving on to the extra deck now, we'll cover the side deck in a minute. Extra deck, first off, we start with Dark Dragoon. Now, you'll notice with every Virtual card, every Virtual main deck monster, you'll notice on their text they read, you cannot, where is it? You can only special summon level/rank 3 or higher monsters you can use. For the rest of the turn, you can only special summon level or rank. For the rest of the turn, you can only special summon level/rank 3 or higher monsters. So basically, you can't, go into links because you can't, because they haven't got levels, which makes sense. So you're thinking, okay, cool. So I don't have. How am I supposed to make Dragoon without Verte? Ha ha ha. Well then, this leads me to my next part, which I will have to skip over a few synchronizers. But Dark Dragoon in this deck is pretty good. I'd recommend playing Dark Dragoon because of this thing. You don't think as though this Dragoon is not as strong as the rest, but it's still a Dragoon, right? The problem with this Dragoon is that you don't get the you don't get the pop effect where you get to target a card on the field, destroy it, and inflict damage to your opponent. Because here's the thing, you don't use a Dark Vision or Red Eyes to make this card. Or any other kind of... You use a dragon, of course, but that's it. So it's shown by next two cards, Muddy Mud Dragon, right, and Ultimate Shioken. Ultimate Shioken acts as the dragon, the Dark Dragon to make Dragoon, and Muddy Mud Dragon acts as the fusion material you need, because the Dark Magician, and it confuse itself on. It's like a contact fusion. It confused itself using its effect, and the Shioken to make Dragoon. But Dragoon can do literally everything It normally does. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Any players can target with card effects. Of course, you just can't destroy the monster. And of course, you get the negate. As long as you got the discard in hand, you can negate quite easily. So yeah, that's another reason why GG is good, because you get to add, if you have no cards in hand, you get to add a card back from your, virtual world monster back from your grave to hand, and you have that one card in your hand that you can use for your that you can either keep if you don't use Dragoon negate, or negate with Dragoon. So it's pretty good. I'd fully recommend using Dragoon, Ultimate, and Money Mud Dragon in this deck. Is pretty good. Next we have Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon's just there for what's it called? It's just there as a level 6 tuner that can draw one. It's similar to that of a Stardust Charge Warrior. Stardust Charge Warrior is a level 6 non-tuner. Because of course, if you have Lily or Lala on the field and you want to make a rank, or maybe some kind of level 12, not level 12, but like some kind of because I'll read this out to you. Ultimate requires 2 level 5 or higher monsters with the same level to send to the graveyard. 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. So let's say you have Lala on the field, which is a tuner. You make Stardust Charge Warrior. Because then you have Stardust Charge Warrior, which is a non-tuner, and Lala, which is a tuner, and then vice versa for Coral Dragon Lily. But basically, it's just a way of getting draw 1, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'd recommend playing him. Crystal Wing Single Dragon. This is why Infinite Permanent is better. Ultimate Shioken reads this effect, which I think is kind of a little stupid. Reads. Where is it? I'm being blind. Once per turn, when a spell or trap card is set on your field, except on a damage step, you can special summon 1 power tool, Synchro Monster, or 1 level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro Monster from an extra deck. As long as you set a back row, you can summon a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is kind of, broken. I'd recommend doing that all the time. So yeah, Infinite Permanence is better than Vader for that reason. In this deck anyway. But Crystal Wing Synchro Dragons are great. You end on it if you have full combo. You end on Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and a Dragoon and a Shen, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, it's just a monster negate that can gain attack. It's pretty good. Would recommend playing that with this deck. It's pretty good. Winning Mud Dragon, of course, making a fusion into Dragoon. Ravenous Crocker Dragon, Arcathis. Crocodile. It's pretty good. It's a really good rank 9 just to make if you need to get some draws in, Of course, it's got its effect of being able to destroy something and gaining 5 attacking defense for each card in your hand. But no, it's just a way of drawing cards, really. It's not too bad. I would recommend playing this card. It's pretty good. Stardust Charge Warrior, of course. Similar to what I said with Coral Dragon. Ultimate Shogun. Vermilion Dragon Mech. This is kind of a consistency card, but also it's pretty good when you are running out of, and it's very late game, and you both kind of run out of all your resources. Make Vermilion Dragon Mech because it can do 1 or 2 things. 1, it can banish one tuner from your hand, or graveyard, or face up on the field. Target 1 card in the field, destroy it. So that's pretty good. It's just a destruction, right? And if this card is synchro summoned, if this synchro summoned card is destroyed by card effect and sent to graveyard, so if you destroy this card, for example, with its own effect. You can target 1 of your banished tuner monsters added to your hand. So basically, it's really silly. You can kind of neg or plus off this. It's pretty good, but no, it's got a really good effect. It's a big boy, 2700 attack. That's pretty good. I'd recommend playing this. It's a pretty good late game kind of card. Give it a try. Would recommend. Next we have Juju. We have the level 6 Synchro Virtual Monster. This card is not too bad. It's got a cannot be destroyed battle or card effect, so we have 2 or more monsters in your graveyard effect, which is pretty good because normally you do have 2 or more monsters in your graveyard with the same original type of attribute, because you normally do. But you don't really make Juju often. It's just a pretty good card. What else can it do? I'm not too sure what it can actually do in all fairness. You can manage 2 monsters in the graveyard, the same original type, blah blah blah. Target 1 card on the field, send it to graveyard. So it sends a card to the field to graveyard. So that's not bad. Actually, no, never mind. I was about to say you can get rid of a Dragoon with this, but you can't because it targets. Well, yeah, you win some, lose some. But no, Juju's not that bad, but you don't always make it. Finally for synchros, Shen. Shen is really good. It's you can pretty much. And there are some decks where if you just summon Shen Shen against them, like for example, Tri-Brigade Zoo, and any kind of graveyard facility deck like Salaman Greats or something, you can summon Shen Shen and you just stop your opponent from playing the game because, quite frankly, it's a macrocosmos to an extent because any card sent from the field to graveyard is banished instead. That's kind of broken in my book. It's pretty good. Would recommend playing this card. Yeah, and Shen Shen's good, and it can revive itself. Like you can if you banish like a virtual card from your graveyard and Ash Blossom, or a virtual card and. Is it 2 cards or 2 monsters? Have a look. I think it's 2 monsters. You during your main phase, except the turn this card is sent to graveyard, you banish 2 other monsters from yeah. So like let's say you banish an Ash Blossom and like a virtual card, you can resummon the Shen Shen, which is kind of broken. Yeah, so I'd fully recommend playing Shen Shen. It's a great card. Now on to the XYZs. We play Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. It's a Forged Boreal. I mean, I play this because of a side deck option, which I'll tell you later. But yeah, it's just a Forged Boreal, and because you don't use Dante to make this, of course, because that's not the kind of deck we're playing. Because you have actually got 2 level 6 monsters you can summon quite easily. So yeah, Beatrice, pretty good card. Next we have Constella told me we have M7 Dragon. So this card basically detaches and sends, I'm pretty sure. Detaches and return detach to compulse. So that's not bad actually. That's pretty much it can also return a card from the graveyard to your hand. So that's pretty good. And that's pretty much what it does. It's just level 6, I can do that. Next we have Utopia Beyond. Holy shit, this card is amazing. If this card, I'll read out to the effect to you now. If this card XYZ is summoned, the attack of all monsters your opponent currently controls becomes 0. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target. Okay, it doesn't matter. But that first effect, though, if this card is XYZ summoned, the attack of all monsters your opponent controls becomes 0. I've won games with this card. It's so good. It's so good. This card and literally any other monster like a Shen Shen, like is pretty good at winning games because if you're because of course. Utopia Beyond beyond the turn. If you outlast your opponent, and you can still make Utopia Beyond by summoning it with, of course, 2 level 6 monsters, you can quite easily get game with this card. It's just a great OTK card. I'd recommend playing it. Gossip Shadow is amazing. It's a little tech play actually. I'll tell you about it in a minute if I don't forget. But Gossip Shadow is just amazing. It's a monster negate that just says draw 1. So yeah, I recommend playing it. It's pretty good. I've never used Fan though. I've never used Fan in my life. What's it say? Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from the card type on visit monster your opponent controls, and 1 card in either graveyard banish them. If this XYZ card is summoned, if this XYZ summoned card is destroyed by battle with a opponent's attack monster or by an opponent's card effect, as well as especially 2 virtual ones. Okay, so it's like a recursion. I wouldn't really use Fan's over a last resort if you have like literally nothing or it's a very weird game state. I've never really used Fan. I really can't comment on it. If you want to, I don't really know what's in this deck profile. I wanted to provide you with a good one. If I could say I'd play anything over Fan, play a Zeus or play some kind of tech level 6 card you find. But yeah, no, it's not a bad card. It's just I just don't play it enough to tell you about it. Sorry, but no, it's give it a slot, in your extra deck. So yeah, that wraps up the extra deck. Going to what I think is a good side deck. Of course, we have Artifact Lancia, triple Artifact Lancia, of course, for the for those silly Tri-Brigade Zoo players, maybe the the Alistair Invoked players. Anyone who just likes banishing, like we don't like people who banish, except ourselves, of course. But yeah, Lancia is not too bad. It's a pretty good card. I would recommend in the side, especially in this format. Next we have Prangatops. Prangatops is just if you're going second, it's a good card to get on the field. It's level 8 monster, yeah, but it's hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, sorry, it's level 7 monster. My bad. But it's a free special summon, so and it's a free pop, so no complaints. Next we have free Dron Lockbird. Dron Lockbird's pretty good this format. Not generic enough to be in the main deck right now, but it's pretty good against those combo decks if there's any running about. Good cards to play. I really want a playset of this. I don't actually have a playset of Dron Lockbird, but I would like to have a playset. Coming on to the next card, we have Necro World Banshee as ties in with Zombie World. The reason why I'm playing this in the side deck, it's a good side deck option. I saw this, I was recommended this by some people, and I saw this was by the Cardi Effect on YouTube. Because I watched this video it's not the same deck as this, I don't think, but I watched this video because it looks cool. But yeah, as you can see, we've got Necro Banshee and Zombie World. This is what you send off Beatrice. This is a Beatrice target, so if you activate if you summon Beatrice and then send a then send the Necro Banshee to then activate the Zombie World from deck. Zombie World on its own is pretty good at stopping like archetype-based decks or decks that require certain types to work. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'd recommend giving it a try, but it's not too bad. I haven't used it much, but it has seen some good play. Next we have Harpy's Feather Duster. It's just good back removal. Same with Twin Twister. They're just good back removal for all those pesky Lich or Altergeist or Guru players. No one likes Guru players. Sorry now. Next we have Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is not too bad in all fairness. It just stops people from being able to play good good spell-based decks, for a good turn. If people are playing Pendulums, they're not, but if they are, Anti-Spell's pretty good. Finally, inside deck is Imperial Order. Imperial Order is good for stopping that one-off good spell, bad spell. A lot of people are playing it. I decided to whack it inside deck just in case. And yeah, that's pretty much the list. I can't be asked to make any combo videos. I'd recommend to go search up some combo videos because you can probably find this one quite easily. If you can't, then I'm sorry, because I can't be asked to make a combo video. I just want to make the deck profile. But yeah, this is a good virtual deck. I'd recommend you play I recommend giving this a try on Dueling Book, or something like that. So yeah, I hope you have a good day. Take care and bye bye. Just saying. Also, I also have a TikTok if you want to go follow that. Link in description. Okay, bye.